Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to see another video, and this is a paid request for Fadi. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting type of videos, whether it be a topic, reaction, commentary, review, re-review, random topic, tier list, ranking, whatever the case, feel free to send it. PayPal is usually the best bet. If you do send it there, make sure to use the family and friends option, otherwise PayPal takes a cut of it. I do have a Patreon and a CashApp. People have asked about those. Those links are down in the info box. I'll get to it as soon as I can. Thank you. Really do appreciate it. Fadi wanted me to look at The Italian Job from 2003, which I have seen this. In fact, I might have seen this in the theater because I've touched on this before, but just in case people didn't see that. 2003 was a year I lived in another part of Texas where I was very close to a movie theater. And close enough that almost on a weekly basis I would go there and check out at least a movie. So that time period, whether it be Kangaroo Jack or Hulk, Terminator 3, Bad Boys 2, Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions, Hollywood Homicide, Identity, Dreamcatcher. I think even this film, I would be like, yeah, I'll check it out. I get to just play some Time Crisis in the little arcade there. I get the bucket popcorn. I always get the large one, which is a mistake because I can never eat it. Because I always didn't want to take it home. And then I'm like, nah, I don't want. I ate so much. I don't want to see it ever again. I throw it away. Then I get home. Then I get pissed that I threw it because I could have saved it and had some later, even if it's old still. It's movie theater popcorn. And I always get the drink, but then I'm always bad at myself because I get the drink and drinking it, then I'm like, I piss in the middle of it, so maybe I should not drink it. This whole routine going in my head with each time. But yeah, The Italian Job is based on a movie I have not seen. I believe Michael Caine starred in the original. I never saw the original. But I enjoyed this one ever since I first saw it. I still think it's a fun movie. F. Gary Gray directed it. He's a very capable director. Friday, I love Friday. It might be in my top 10 favorite comedies. Simple, just one neighborhood. It's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you got shit to do. I love Friday, and I have the DVD over there because for some reason on Blu-ray they only have the cut that added footage in that I don't think needed to be in there, and I think they slow the film down. I'm thinking this was cut for a reason. Like, give me the theatrical cut, damn it, on Blu-ray. Crying out loud. That's why I have to have the damn DVD to have that cut. The original, which I thought was the better cut. And we also did The Negotiator with Samuel Jackson, and yes, Kevin Spacey, but I thought that was a rather good film. He did a few others as well. I think he did Law Abiding Citizen. Don't quote me on that, but I think he did. Actually, let me just check real quick. Just so many times I think I screw up. Yes, okay, he did. And I do like that one too. Gerard Butler, Jamie Foxx, etc. So anyway, the cast... I've talked a lot of trash about Mark Wahlberg because I think he's a guy that gets overused tremendously. I'm sitting there going, man, aren't there other actors? And I know there's other ones and better ones. Could they not have given that person the part instead of this? I just would see him everywhere and get so tired of seeing him. From like Mile 22 and that sniper movie and this and that and that and this, and you had Shooter, the sniper movie. You had, what was that movie? He did the military film. Not American Sniper. That's Bradley Cooper. What was the other one? Damn it! Can't believe I forgot what the hell it was called. That's how low I remember it. Contraband was one he was in. Just like all these films that pop out of the woodwork. Of course, The Happening. Transformers, 4 and 5. But with that said, even though I've talked trash about him, he's not my favorite actor. There are films I can tolerate him in, and there are films he's done that I like. Fear. I thought he did a good job in Fear. I liked that film. The Big Hit. I think that's an entertaining action film with him, Lou Diamond Phillips, among others. Pain and Gain. Yes, Michael Bay film with The Rock. But it's so unique and so crazy, and I thought it's very irreverent comedy that I remember chuckling. I haven't seen it since it came out, to be fair, but I do remember liking that film. And like this film. So there are movies he's in that I don't mind. The other people, you got Donald Sutherland, may he rest in peace, great actor. My favorite of his will always be Lock Up, the warden, trying to go after Sylvester Stallone. But he was in Backdraft, the 70s Invasion of the Body Snatchers, just a wonderful actor, greatly missed. You have Charlize Theron. I do like her as an actress. She was in that film Monster. Gave a wonderful performance in that film. And I always liked her when she popped up and stuff, Charlize Theron. Mos Def, don't mind him. I thought he did well in the movie. Jason Statham, I do like Statham. And this is before, well, so he had done action films, but here he was also open to doing like smaller parts, whether it be Lost, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and things of that nature. And so this, he was open to having to play a smaller part, but he still does a good job. Same with Seth Green, which I don't mind Seth Green. I liked Robot Chicken that he helped create. There's films he's in I don't mind, like Without a Paddle with Matthew Lillard. It's a time waster. I'm on other films he's been in. So this is part of the team. Mark Wahlberg is the thief, who's now the new leader. Donald Sutherland is the mentor. Charlize Theron is Donald's daughter, where she's not part of the team. She's off doing her own thing, wanting her dad to not be in the thief business anymore. Mos Def is the demolition guy, and one of his ears is deaf because of something that happened when he was a kid, blowing up toilets with bombs. Jason Statham is the driver. Seth Green is the electronics guy. And then Edward Norton. He's in the film as well. Of course, from American History X and Fight Club and The Incredible Hulk, among others. They help blow this safe through multiple floors, and they have this plan where they have a fake decoy boat that Jason Statham and them drive, so the guys go after them while Mark and Donald and Edward, they get the safe that's now in the water and get the contents and move it away. They succeed. Kind of a cool, clever plan they did. And one thing leads to another. They get to their safe station, and Edward turns on them. He's hired some goons. He turns on them. Donald tries to stop it. He gets shot. They gotta get out of there. Statham drives the van. They go off this bridge. They go into the water. They have these tanks from their job before, so they're able to hide there for a little bit until Edward Norton and them think that they're dead. So sometime later, they want revenge, of course. They want revenge for the death of Donald Sutherland's character and for having their gold stolen. So they enlist the help of Donald's daughter, Charlize, because not only she has the motivation, but she could crack a safe. And the rest of the film is them coming up with this plan, and then by the end, fulfilling it. So, I mean, pretty straightforward plot. They killed my friend, father figure. They stole my shit. I'm going to get revenge and get it back. But what made the film work was the cast worked well together. They had a good enough personality to make them fun characters to enjoy the ride with. Little eccentric stuff, whether it be how Statham's character is a ladies' man, and how Mos Def, he don't like dogs, and like these little eccentric stuff throughout the film that work well, and trying to shape a little bit extra to the characters. Seth Green, the little backstory that he was the creator of Napster, and the guy who traded, which he actually has a cameo, he stole it from Seth. So then Seth, he wants to be known as the inventor of Napster, and wants Mark Wahlberg to call him that before he does more of his electronic stuff. And it goes by a pretty quick pace. Like, the film didn't really deviate too much into other useless subplots. It's like the goal is to do this job, and they stick with it. Mark Wahlberg, at least he's a bit, I don't know, toned down. I don't know, there's something about it where he was much more tolerable for me in this one compared to other films. I don't know what it was. Some may say he's more boring. I don't know. He was just more tolerable for me. And like I said, you have a good cast that just made it work with a director that knew to keep the movie going at a solid pace. I like the usage of Mini Coopers. It's not a common car you used to see in these type of big chase. What do you call it? Not chase, but these steam films. I don't say hijack films, but these type of films that you would see coming into play. Before this, you had Ocean's 11 with George Clooney and Brad Pitt. You had other films of this nature where we're planning this robbery, we are going and take care of things. And even before that, George Clooney in Three Teens, which is another good movie. And I remember liking the first Ocean's 11, although I have not seen that since it came out. And I barely remember the sequels. I never did see the one with Sandra Bullock. Even though I'm a big Sandra Bullock fan, just never had the need. Ocean's 8, I just never had the desire. I never got a request to review it or watch it, but anyway. But yeah, I just enjoyed watching the plan come to fruition. Them testing the traffic to see how long it would take to go A to B. Oh, that's a bit too long, so, oh, well, maybe this guy can hack into the heist movie is what I was thinking of, the term heist movie. This is where you saw a lot more of these heist movies come into play during this time period. And, okay, Seth Green, you move the traffic lights so if they're green, we can make a better getaway. Okay, well, how do we get the safe? Well, how do we get out of there? Well, how big is the place? Oh, Charlize, you don't go undercover because he don't know what you look like. And that way measure the place. And, oh, well, what about our car that could fit? What could fit? A Mini Cooper. How do we move the gold? All this other stuff. And then when the action comes into play, it's very well staged. It's well executed. It does have some fun moments. Edward Norton, he's a good actor. I thought nice playing this more kind of a slime ball, sleazy bad guy. You know, you blew the element of surprise. You blew the one thing going for you. And then Mark punches him. You surprised? It felt like they were trying to have this love story between Mark and Charlize. Now, granted, they don't deviate from the film where it gives you like 15 minutes of just this lovey-dovey plot. It doesn't do that, which I appreciate. But then when they get together at the end, it kind of feels not out of nowhere, but just like, oh, okay. I say, well, we need that to happen, so we have a couple scenes, but I'd rather just have that, just don't have that be the case and be, she's there for her father, to get revenge, and like, it just felt like something you didn't need, that they get together at the end. It wasn't bad, it wasn't like out, you know, again, they didn't deviate too much time with it, which is a good or a bad thing. You say it's a bad thing because there's really not much to really create this chemistry that they are a couple by the end, but at the same time, if they deviate too much, then it's like, oh, let's get back on track. Come on, we're worried about this. The whole premise is the revenge for what happened to this Donald Sutherland's character. So I like they didn't deviate too much, but again, I don't think it should have been at all. I would prefer, hey, it was nice working with you, or hey, it's not your fault my dad died. they shake hands and there you go. I think that was all that was you need to do. It's not a big deal. It's just something that picked on. Just a little thing I'm picking on after watching it again. But yeah, when the action occurs, the way they implement the plan and the way they're moving the vehicles, and you have these nice wide shots where it's controlling traffic and tons of extras and cars being utilized in these sequences. Definitely utilizing the budget fairly well for those scenes. When you get the chase scenes with the Mini Cooper, some nicely choreographed action bits. Like when the 3 Mini Coopers, they're in this very narrow tube tunnel. And to the point that they're kind of going on the sides as they're driving along at these high speeds. I like the way that was done. It's not typical to have a car chase scene in such a narrow vicinity, but that was nice to see. Or the bit where they have to get a close call and get on this train earlier on. Which there might be a little bit CG enhanced, but I do tell a lot of it was done practically. So I thought that was handled well. That didn't look too cartoonish to me. Spoiler alert, this is spoilers. I did like the bit with Mark is going to be the decoy because he knows Edward wants to chase after him. And I did like the little showdown where he's playing a little bit of chicken with the helicopter, but then goes to the side, and Edward, wanting to punish him, stupidly uses the rotor blades. And yes, this is where CG I get being used for safety reasons, but yeah, I thought there was enough practical in there that didn't feel like one of the later Fast and Furious like cartoon type of stuff. Like there's CG, but I just see a lot of the helicopter stuff was used practically. Like most of the helicopter stuff was done with a real chopper. But I get why some of it was because you don't want another Twilight Zone incident with that helicopter. So I think it was used effectively for what it needed to showcase. I thought it worked out rather well when the rotor blades get fucked up and all that stuff. And yeah, it's one of those films that I guess if you don't like the cast, then you're maybe not going to get into the movie. But I thought that it went a fast enough pace, some nice clever ideas with the heist itself. It didn't deviate to too many useless subplots and pointless endeavors to make the film feel extraneously long, like a lot of films do nowadays. And it had a nice charm to it. I know they wanted to do a sequel called The Brazilian Job, which I don't know, that would seem like... when I think of Brazilian Job, I'm thinking like women, getting their bikini waxed and maybe getting a bit of everything waxed down there. They got a Brazilian job. So I don't know if that would be the title. Obviously it's just Italian and Brazilian, but I don't know. I'm not sure if that came out. Like people would think of it as a different type of movie. But it didn't need a sequel. I mean, that's the thing. Would I have been curious about it? Sure, I would have been curious about it because I like the cast. But it was a hit. But I think it's one of those films, it was a hit, but people were not really... They were not really crying out for a sequel. Not every movie needs a sequel. In fact, that's an issue where there's too many films trying to get too many pointless sequels. Especially nowadays, because studios are desperate for that money, and they're hoping that some familiar IP will get people intrigued enough to go to the theater. And a lot of times, lately Indiana Jones 5 was a flop. Look at the Crow reboot. That was a big flop. But once in a while you get a film like Alien Romulus that's a hit, and yep, it worked for that, so maybe it'll work for us. And that's what they're hoping for. But yeah, I'm actually fine there was no sequel. like I said, I think it told its story. It ended it fine. They got the money, they got the gold, and spoilers. Edward Norton's going to get his comeuppance. Jason Statham got his Aston Martin car. Seth Green got his stereo that will blow the clothes off of women. Mos Def got his house with the place for all his shoes. Mark Wahlberg and Charlize are together. Everybody got what they wanted. Dot the I's, cross the T's. There's really nothing else to delve into to answer. It would only because of financial reasons, which is, to be fair, even a lot of sequels I love, the only reason they were made is for more financial reasons. Like Beverly Hills Cop ended everything, but I love Beverly Hills Cop 2 as well. So, of course, yeah, if it was done well, would I like to have seen a sequel? Sure. But as is, I liked what we had. It was nice to watch this again. Like I said, I had not seen this film for a while, and I'm like, you know what? This is a rather good one. Funny enough, now that I think about it, it's kind of... I mean, this is a remake, but I don't know why it reminded me a bit of Fast 5 and Fast and Furious 6, which those came out after this. I mean, that by this point, you were only up to 2 Fast 2 Furious. That was another 2003 film I saw in the theater. But the whole like family group, and I mean, great, there's a lot of films with the heist. I mean, you just say Ocean's 11, and many films before, back in the day with the Rat Pack doing their heist movies. I don't know, something about this like reminds me of... I don't know why. I don't know why that was the case. But either way, Italian Job's a fun one. Sorry for the noise if you hear this noise. It's the ceiling fan on high. It's just so damn hot here I had to put it on so I don't suffocate. So I apologize if that bothers people. For the next couple reviews I'll probably have to have that on. So again, sorry if you do hear that. Thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.